And did you ever take do they still have those sunfish sailboats at Tomahawk or anything like that? When you're swimming?
They do have some little ones. And they got a big one, one you could like sleep on,
Oh, no,
if I wanted. We were out there on. 13-year-old girl was leading that deal.
yep,
He got partway out and something broke and we had to pull it back to shore.
yeah.
We had to swim it back to shore us.
They didn't come and get you in they used to come and get us all the time.
Yeah.
I found one. I'm actually buying one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I want to have it up at the lake, a little 14-foot sunfish with the trailer and stuff. And Hayward just can't get to the guy. And I'm like, we used to have so much fun on those things. And I thought I could probably kill myself on Lake Superior with that. That'll be fun.
I want to not only a life jacket but helmets.
Yeah. Wetsuits.
Thought it'd be fun to get one. Well,
Oh, they're just so intense with your eyes.
so thankfully, time.
Yeah, I know. I've been waiting. It's been one of those
Another hobby.
the dumb bucket list items that, you live in your youth or whatever. I'm like,
Next
no.
was a Corvette, right?
Yeah, well, actually 32 Roadster.
Pockets.
Well, no, you gotta, I'm gonna build it yourself. So
Oh,
you-
yeah, okay.
I got 6 o'clock. We're recording. I will call the meeting to order. Notice was posted in accordance to Wisconsin statute 19.84 open meeting law. At this time, we'll ask the secretary to please read the notice of public hearing.
Okay, notice of public hearing, State of Wisconsin, County of Burnett, Monday, September 8th, 2025 at 6 p.m. at the Burnett County Government Center in room 165, Town of Meenum, Siren, Wisconsin, regarding the following. Variance 2512, Strite. Public notice is hereby given to all persons in the town of Scott, Burnett County, Wisconsin, that Philip Strite has made an application relative to a proposal to vary the terms of the Burnett County Land Use and Shoreland Protection Code of Ordinances as follows. To expand the non-conforming dwelling more than 25% located at 29512 South Nickaboyne Lake Road in the RR1 zoning district, the north part of Lot 2, CSM Volume 2, page 31, in Government Lot 1, Section 3, 4014. Variance 2515. Ms. Narek, public notice is hereby given to all persons in the town of Trade Lake, Burnett County, Wisconsin, that Peter Mesnarek has made application relative to a proposal to vary the terms of the Burnett County Land Use and Shoreland Protection Code of Ordinances as follows. To construct a deck and porch at a reduced road setback and at a reduced side setback located at 22157 Spirit Lake Road in the RR1 zoning district, Lot 2, CSM Volume 1, page 7, and Government Lot 3, Section 23718.
Thank you. At this time, we'll look to approve the agenda order.
I would make a motion to approve it.
Motion by Peterson. Do I have a second?
A second.
Second by Daniels. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries to approve the agenda order. This time we'll go through the meeting procedure minutes. The hearing is being recorded, so they ask that only one person speak at a time. When your variance or appeal is requested as announced, we ask that whoever is presenting the case that you come to the table and sit in the chair. You will then present your case to us. The board may ask additional questions during this process. Once you are done presenting your case and the board has no additional questions, you will return to your seat. The board will then open the public hearing. Those speaking during the public hearing will have a 3-minute time limit. When you are called upon for a public comment, please start by stating your name for the record. Make comments to the Board of Adjustment members only, no questioning or arguing between individuals in the audience. Any written correspondence received will be mentioned at this time as well. Once the public speaking is concluded, the board will close the public hearing. Board then may follow up with additional questions for the applicant. The board will then deliberate the case amongst themselves, and you will likely have a verbal decision tonight. The board may table or defer action whenever it concludes that additional evidence is needed or further study is required. If a decision is made tonight, then at the next Board of Adjustment meeting, the board members will sign the decision document. Once that document is filed in the office of the Board of Adjustment, usually within a few days of the board signature, the 30-day appeal limit will start. Any person aggrieved by this decision or any applicant, officer, department, bureau, or board of the county or town may within 30 days after the filing of this decision in the office of the Board of Adjustment, commence an action in circuit court seeking a remedy available by certiorari. And public comments, we will go per case that's there. You can gladly speak now too.
This is just general, so I don't know if I could just do it from here. I'm not speaking to a specific, variance request. Karen Lacqua Anderson, I'm a resident of Burnett County. As the Board of Adjustment considers variances for requests within the shoreland protection area, I ask that you consider the impact on the most affected neighbor, the lakes and waterways. When we purchase property in a protected area, we know that it comes with a responsibility to reasonably function within the boundaries of the protections set forth by the DNR, state, and local agencies. Though one individual variance may not seem to have an impact on our waterways, collectively, each landowner stands to contribute to the degradation of our lakes. As more people buy up land and pave it, build on it, our lakes will suffer if we don't apply some simple protective measures. If each landowner creates too much impervious surface area or has structures closer than 75 feet, there are options to reduce the negative impact on the waterways, some being vertical expansion, shoreline restoration. There's other creative ways. Since a variance stays with the property, are we creating an unmanageable number of special requirements that will need to be monitored by state or county staff for years to come? As a Board of Adjustment, I know it's extremely challenging to advise landowners that they can't do what they dream of doing, but I would find it even more challenging to face our future generations and explain to them how we didn't protect our lakes and waterways, why there are fewer and fewer fish, less wildlife, warmer water that can no longer support the species we are accustomed to. Your position on this board does matter. Just like the positions in land use, the DNR, and our conservation specialists together, each of these entities can ensure that the most affected neighbor, the waterways, have a voice. If we continue to build, pave, and gravel our way around our lakes, I'm just not sure what the future of our lakes is. Thanks.
Thank you. Any other public comments? If not, we'll open up public hearing 25, variance 2512, straight. Is that the proper way to say street?
Straight.
Straight?
Long, it's a
All right.
German name. Well, this starting here on behalf of my wife, Mary, and myself, and we've of course filed for a variance for an addition on our cabin. And then the variance really is targeted on the porch that's within the boundary of the neighbors to the north. I've gotten, and you've probably received letters from all of our neighbors, that they've had this in the property for years, and we have all in acceptance of moving forward with the variance being accepted. That's not all I have. I don't know what else. You probably have questions, and be glad to answer if I can.
Any questions from the committee? Again, the application was filled out. We have the application in the packet, so.
We did all visit the site.
Well, yes, thank you for all doing it. I appreciate that. And for serving. I'm from a small rural area myself, so that serving on boards and committees is an integral part of successes in the community. So
I don't have any.
How would your neighbors seem in favor of? Not having this.
and I think for me that would be most effective thing, you know, if it's coming out into the third generation of that thing, so they're happy with it. for that one reason.
From Wagner Strange, we put together the site plan, and you can see, you've all been out there. All the cabins were old resort cabins that were all about 40-45 feet from the lake, and well, the only place he can go is back, and that's what he's doing, is going back, and his back of the building is about at 75. You can see one corner is over, but there is really not much space out there. They're fairly small lots, and they were all small cabins to start with.
Anything else? Otherwise, we can have you go and we'll deliberate amongst ourselves, and we may ask some questions later. Sure. So not a big deal.
Thank you.
This time we'll open the public hearing for variance 2512. Any comments from the public? There's some letters that were presented that are there from the
Yep.
neighbors, you said.
I didn't see any comments from Emily. Did I miss
So
that?
how to-
Blank on hers.
That's because it's
Yep.
all beyond, the additions beyond 75.
Oh.
So. And that's the same reason you don't have anything from the DNR.
The permit was pulled for the addition. And that was all good. It's just with the condition that a variance has to be granted because we're too close to the lot line. We're 7.6 feet on the one corner and 8.6 on the other. Is that correct?
Correct. So when you're non-conforming to something other than the lake, you're limited to, you can only expand by 25% of the envelope. This is over that, and they wanted to get going on the project, so we basically just said we'll issue it with the condition that, we apply for the variance, or
And that's why the screen porch isn't finished, because if they had to tear it down, they didn't.
or if they have to take a little bit off of it.
Oh, yeah, take a couple feet, wouldn't tear it down, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mark this 27.1% impervious, that's with the addition.
Yes. The number above there it was 23 and it went up to 27.
Okay, gotcha.
Still in public hearing, man.
Because I don't think you close.
Well, I didn't, I was like, we got going on that, and at this time, I'll close the public hearing.
Now we gotta start over.
Nope. You got good numbers. I'll just read through the application, in our three-step test, unique property limitations, applicant stated the existing porch is within 10 foot of the sideline setback, has been placed for a very long time. The 25% does not give enough space for the proper usage of the area, and the additional framing has already been started. When we look at unnecessary hardship, the applicant stated the existing porch has been there for several years. No, and the framing has already been done. And our third criteria, the applicant stated no harm to the existing porch because it's been there a very long time. And the addition is further away from the lake than the existing house. That's in the application. Touching base on those. Any other questions from committees or concerns? You mentioned size or space as a.
Yeah, just the impervious surface. We're at 27%. I know the site was really sandy.
Yes. I don't think there's gonna be any ponding water in that site.
Should probably look at whatever we have to do with, is that Emily?
Well, there's You can go up to 30% improvement. Correct. So they're not asking for a variance for anything. So it's impervious.
But from what, 15% up, they have to do a couple of,
Yeah, it's supposed to do some mitigation tactics. It looks like we kind of missed that on this one.
Well, you do have the, removing the
But if you
patio.
remove the patio, then you're almost back down to what it was. If you granted,
The pavers in that patio,
yeah.
that's on the front of the lake.
the fire right front. I think that the idea of carrying 2 feet off the porch is,
A porch that's been there for how long? That probably the neighbor kids grew up with it.
well, it's just.
40 years.
Just on the buildability side of things, to take 2 feet off and put a new foundation, and you're gonna tear the ground up more than it is already, and.
Well, and we talk about this many times, that's why we have the 10-foot setback, because when stuff gets built. You know, the permit said it was within 25 feet originally when it was drawn. Well, it's not, of course, now we found that out. So, but that's one of the reasons we like that 10-foot setback, because we're still on their property. And it's not, the neighbors are used to it, they've seen it for 40 years. So,
And I almost think they didn't probably know where the property line was because of the privacy fence. You see it's off.
sure.
off the line there. Gives the illusion.
The 25 feet's almost to the neighboring cabin.
Correct. I don't know where the 25 came from.
It's almost a different tape measure than most of us here.
Eyeballed it.
Whatever.
No.
I like the fact that it's on the backside.
Yeah.
You can't really.
And it's back 75 feet,
You know, you see it from the lake. The lake is relatively, Lake Shore is relatively wild.
correct? I agree.
I think if we could get the patio pavers removed and not worry about pulling 2 feet off the porch. Seems like a goal with me.
Agree.
All right, well, I'll make a motion. Let's see here, 2512. Following stipulations. Since most of the existing cabin is within the 75-foot setback and the expansion exceeds the 25% limit, the patio pavers near the lake should be removed and replaced with natural vegetation. Sanitary system to be serviced and reported to the county by 12/31 of 25 and follow all local, county, state and federal requirements for this activity.
I have a motion by Campion. Do I have a second?
I second it.
Seconded by Schmidt. Any other discussion on the motion as entered? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries to approve variance 2512, right? With the three conditions listed. Thank you.
We have to wait 30 days.
No, I mean, that time frame is just if somebody were to appeal it, but. I wouldn't worry about it at this point.
At this time, we'll hear variance 2550.
Yeah, you can.
15. Mesnerich, is that correct?
That's actually pronounced right. Good job.
That is a first.
Let me look at which side it is.
Write that down. I'm not gonna get it right again. You just jinxed me. Welcome, thank you.
Welcome, thanks. Hi, my name is Peter Mesnerich. My wife and I purchased a cabin on Spirit Lake back in 2009. Since then, pretty much we spend a lot of summers up here. Every summer we're up here. As soon as the kids get out of school, then we come up and spend most of the summer up here. We now have 7 kids and basically we're just looking for more space to enjoy the outdoors. So What we like to do as a family, like to eat outside. We have a lot of friends up as well, so we like to eat outside. And the current deck that we had made that very challenging and very crowded to be able to do that. And then we also like to enjoy the summer, like the wind and the breeze, and during the day and night, and especially at night, it gets become a challenge with mosquitoes and bugs because we don't have any place to be outside without that. So kind of the idea of what I'm trying to do is I'm hoping to build a porch, 16 by 16 porch that would kind of allow us to be outside but not have mosquitoes and bugs at night and during the day. And then also do a 16-foot by 34-foot deck that would then expand the rest of the way across the cabin. So the 16 by 16 porch would be on the east side front of the cabin. And unfortunately, when the cabin was built, that corner is at 9.9 feet from the setback. And what I'm hoping to do is just build flush with the side. So that's why there's a reduced side setback, because I'll be flush. But it was already 9.9, so it'll be flushed by that amount. And then of course with 16 feet out, then that puts us inside the reduced road setbacks at that point. So with that said, just looking at the neighbor directly to my west, we're still going to be more than 10 feet further away from center line than our neighbor to the west. And then actually there's a neighbor diagonal to us, and we're going to be more than 35 feet from the center line than they are currently right now. I know both of those are grandfathered in, but we're going to be over 50 feet away from the center line once we're done with our construction, our proposal. So kind of my plan was I wanted to kind of build this last summer. So in May I came up and I just kind of ripped out the old deck. It was nailed and screwed, so I wanted to give myself some time to. I knew it would take a while, and it did take a while to get rid of the old deck. And then in June I applied for the land use permit, and then I came in and talked to Jason and found out that I needed a variance because of the road setback, and I was going to be too close. So and then at that point, I knew I couldn't do anything. I couldn't start anything until this meeting in September, and we're going to be up all summer. So basically, I just put a temporary deck up. I just took the existing boards. It's just temporary. I had no intent on keeping it, and I don't have intent on keeping it. I plan to actually tear it out once this meeting's over and rebuild it based on you guys' recommendation of what I can do. It's kind of my plan. So I thought it made sense just to look at the purposes of road setbacks, because I'm not familiar with them. So I just kind of did a little research, and some of the primary reasons are just accommodate future road improvements, provide access for emergency services, that provide maintain that clear sight lines for traffic, and then also just have that consistent uniform distance of road to buildings and structures. And those are kind of the main reasons for road setbacks. So as I walk through those, the first two, providing for future improvements and access for emergency services. While we're going to be 50 feet from the center and our neighbors already are a lot closer, so I don't think we're going to inhibit that any worse than it already is from our neighbors and other people on Spirit Lake. Maintaining the clear sight lines, that's more like for corner visions, which makes sense if you build out and two cars are coming from the corner and you build out far enough, you won't be able to see each other coming. Luckily, our property is not on the corner, it's not an intersection, we have a straight shot, so after we build our portion deck, we will not infringe on any sight lines for any traffic driving at all. And then as far as just the uniform consistency of buildings to the road, I've already mentioned our neighbors, but up and down Spirit Lake, there's all kinds of variations, and there's a lot of other places that are a lot closer to the road than we are too. So I don't think our proposal is going to basically affect that either. So in my opinion, I don't think what we're trying to do is going to really infringe on any of those reasons of why we have a road setback. I also know there's the requirements, right, for variance, the unique property limitations. In my case, I have a very small lot, so I mean there's no way for me to add on to where I'm at without being outside of the standard setbacks that are there. Not necessarily hardship is kind of along that same lines, right? There's no area for me to expand at all just because of the size of my lot. And then as far as harm to the public interest, we're going to be building more than 75 feet from the shoreline, so we won't be getting close to the shoreline at all. There's a road between the lake and our building, so there's a separation there, along with a large cottonwood tree, multiple trees, electric boxes. Those are all between our proposed porch and deck and the road as well. So we just wanted to kind of point that out to the board. Also just wanted to address a couple of violations. I know that Jason had printed out. One of the violations was that we currently have a deck now that was within that setback. And yeah, that was, I kind of explained before, you know, it's not permanent, it's temporary. I used old boards in the deck. It's just something so that this summer when we were up here all the time, we weren't in the mud and dragging mud all over the place, so it's just temporary. But yeah, I acknowledge that that was there. And then also there was a violation on, I relocated a window and a door. Without a land use permit. I didn't realize I needed a land use permit for that, so. I apologize for that, and I did talk to Jason about that too. Had I known that, I definitely would have applied for that and gotten it. I just didn't realize that. And the other thing I just want to talk about was just a 30% impervious. Kind of came to our attention last week and from Jason that we're going to be over that. So then I came in on Friday, talked with Jason, and then I talked with Mark from Wagner Surveying, and we actually have came up with a plan. And I think Mark, you might have additional maps or new maps, but
We have.
we have them, right? Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Thank you.
I printed them and gave them off to
Oh,
them.
otherwise I
Yep.
got copies here too.
Yep.
Thanks, Jason.
Yep.
But yeah, so kind of our plan right now, our driveway is 16 feet wide. And our garage is only 12 feet. So the plan is if we reduce our driveway to 16 or from 16 down to 12, that would line up with our garage door. And then that would get us underneath that 30% impervious. I also called and spoke with Emily from the conservation mitigation. Just to let her know that whatever the board decides, whatever you guys decide, then I'll plan to work with her on whatever mitigation I need to do. Whatever is suggested to make sure that I'm in compliance with what needs to happen, so. I just want to thank you guys for your time and considering this proposal and open up for any questions you might have for me.
Anything on top of your head?
I don't, I have a copy. Didn't you get one?
No. Yep.
I haven't.
Mark from Wagner Surveying. I guess I can help explain that too, and I was gonna. I didn't know Jason would get the time to do that. We were gonna try to get there's some moving parts out there. The decks got tore down and were somewhat replaced, and we didn't know where the original ones were, so working with Pete and Jason's pictures and so forth. That last drawings we sent you updated, what should be accurate. Basically it was 8-foot deck out from the house. It was 11 feet from the corner. If you saw the pictures of the photos, I don't know, do you guys have the photos too? Because there was a well there, you can see where that was, and so it was 11 feet from the end, and so. As you can see there, we modified the drawings, so the red is here was the existing. I know Jason was guessing it was about 6 on the photos, but you can see on the photos, there was a picnic table sitting there perpendicular to the building. And maybe 6 feet plus, you know, the picnic table, and so the 8 fits real close, you know, with what we thought and what Pete said was the dimension of the original deck that had been there since before he bought in 2009. So that was the existing stuff, so that should be a pretty good lock on the impervious of what we had there. And then we talked about removing the part in blue there, and I think it's cross-hatched in your drawing there of what you take off the driveway there. And the one part you don't have, and we were in the process of doing this also, which is a map, a survey of the whole property. And one of the things you probably don't realize is that their septic and so forth is out the back. And there's a permanent easement on it. And unfortunately for him, I know
I
that.
should have that as well. That should have been your second page.
That was the second page.
Should have been,
Preliminary
yeah,
120.
because we got emailed 2 things.
Yep, but that didn't show the back of the lot.
Oh, yeah, we didn't show the back a lot.
Okay.
Now we do a third one.
Yep. And so,
Strike.
and there was a sewer in the back. And sewer's in the back on a 50 by 84, 83 foot parcel. And the neighbor had us survey it a year or two ago, and he was expecting to get lots of money from all the neighbors there, I think, because their stuff was in.
Every one of them was on there.
And so I know there was some pretty high prices thrown out there. Pete has not purchased it yet. But if you looked at that, that's 4,000 square feet where his septic is on that land. If you added that to the rest of his property, he would be from 28 or 29% down to 22%. And that's where his septic is. It doesn't help with the situation we have right now because he doesn't own it. But that's one of the things he's re-looking at, maybe purchasing that yet too, possibly. And then the impervious situation would go away from 29, 30 down to 22 or whatever, pretty easily. But anyway, that's just wanting to let you know that's other things going on in place here.
He's willing to take the 22 off. We didn't realize it was over 30. We know you can't approve over 30. That's why we didn't ask, because we didn't even think about asking, because we can't do it. So it has to be reduced or brought down, and right now the proposal would take the 16-foot driveway down to 12.
My question would be on the hatch there, though. I'm guessing you're gonna leave some of it up by the garage? Did you show it hatched all the way up to the garage, so you'd have no hard surface between your driveway to get to your deck, so you're gonna walk through mud for like 3 feet?
I think the plan would be grass or something that's impervious.
Oh, I would just say, well, you got 0.2% to work with, so I guess if it was me, I would just leave some, blacktop up there so you can get from your driveway to your deck without, having to have something weird that you're gonna cross over or something. So you got 0.2%, so I'm sure that'll get you something.
Mark, that's good. Anything else or?
I think that's it. And we still have the option to purchase from the neighbor too, possibly. That might happen before everything's completed here too, or before the driveway is tore up maybe, so.
Anything you want to share at the end here? Otherwise, we may come back and ask questions after it, but I'll let you be done with your presentation. So
Thank you.
this time we'll open up the public hearing for variance 2515. Any public comments from people? Yep. Come on up, or if you can stay there, whatever you want to do. I know who you are. So.
My name is John Richards. I'm a permanent resident of Spirit Lake. I don't know how many letters you have in support or against this project from neighbors, but I'm here on behalf of myself and my wife to support Keith and his family in this application. It's a tight-knit community. We see this as an improvement to a structure and a property that was developed in the late 70s, early 80s. So we think it'll be an improvement in that regard. We do think it'll be an efficient improvement for his family to be able to use this property in conjunction with neighboring properties in the lake and the road. So that's why I'm here, to support the project. And is there any questions? I go by there twice a day, sometimes 3 if I go home for lunch. So I am a permanent resident, and I agree with Pete on some of the other properties along there that are in violation and are probably grandfathered in. They a much greater influence on some of the issues this committee is designed to look at. This project is well away from the lake shore and doesn't affect some of those concerns as well.
Thanks, John.
And one thing, I don't know if it's gonna get brought up, but I did talk to the neighbors and they sent something in favor of, I think the neighbor to my east, which will be directly affected by the porch. I talked to all of them before I started, and they're perfectly fine with it, and they should have sent in correspondence.
Yep. We did. We
got one from
It's in there.
Dean Lundberg. I think he's the one
To the one
to.
closest to the east, which is mostly impacted.
Any other information that's written that might be in there that we need to mention? Otherwise, we'll close the public hearing. This time we'll deliberate amongst ourselves. Any other questions by the committee would be appropriate to ask now?
And again, the reason there's no DNR correspondence, nothing's within the 75-foot setbacks.
Okay, so the staff report I have,
Which one?
Yeah.
that's why I'm asking. The one would need 2 points of mitigation from going to 28 to 30.
Yes,
That's the newest one.
yes.
Work with the land conservation, develop a mitigation program. Plan, yeah, plan. Okay. I just wanted to make sure I had the right one. I don't even have a printed copy.
Yeah, because I just emailed that one to you guys like at noon today.
Yeah, because this has been a moving target.
Yes.
I don't remember. Was it an email or?
You should have got an
It's on
email
the email.
today about noon.
Remind me.
You got yours pulled up, right? Do you want to just read it?
Well, I can read it, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't read it on my phone.
Well, so I'll read the staff comments, I guess the 5 recommendations we had. If you're gonna approve the variance, the following item should be made part of the motion. Number one, can't exceed 30% impervious area. Number two, we'll need 2 points of mitigation for going from 28% impervious to 30% impervious. Work with land conservation staff to develop a mitigation plan. Number three, meet all floodplain requirements. Number four, land use permit to be obtained prior to construction. Number five, follow local, county, state, federal requirements for this activity.
Thank you. It was nice to see a fire ring that wasn't poured concrete or pavers.
Wet. We never did find variance 96 or whatever that was.
No, we don't know where that went. Hard copy, cause that would have been what did I say, like 79-ish or
80,
80?
you said.
And we have a hard we're supposed to have a hard copy and that one was not in the bin, so. Misplaced or got thrown away or who knows, but. Only 46 years ago, 45 years ago, so.
45 years ago.
You know. I'm thinking it was a rear setback though. Cause that house is only like 10 feet from that rear lot line. So I don't know if that would. This was 4 back then. I don't know though. That's just me guessing.
So we don't even know what it was.
Oh.
And you addressed the windows and the patio doors with you already.
Yep.
Stuff.
Yeah, and I said if this variance gets approved, he'll need a permit for an addition to the dwelling and then we would just roll all that into that permit, so.
Okay.
That the 16 feet deep is nice size for a porch. It's not ridiculous. It's nice size for a deck. Nearly as close as the rest of the places on the road.
Exactly. And with the road there, you know, it's not like the water's gonna make it to the lake from there. I mean, it will penetrate the earth
Right.
and make it to the watershed, of course, but yes. I don't think it's gonna be a runoff across the road thing.
Not any more than it is itself.
Correct.
I don't see there's a public safety issue. It's a pretty slow road. You can't go fast on it.
Pretty slow road and it's really a long ways. The next neighbor's 40 and as you said, there's some of them that are 30 and there's a couple that are probably about 20, I think, on that same road. So, you know, if it was building new, we could do setback averaging.
Yeah.
And, you know, but we're not building new, we're trying to put an addition on.
Yeah.
So we've talked about that many times.
The only sticking point for me would be the impervious surface, and I have that figured out one of two ways.
I would make a motion to approve this variance as requested, and it would be the 5 items Jason had read off earlier. That would be, you would have to take care of on the staff report.
I have a motion by Peterson. Do I have a second?
Second.
That was you, right? Yeah. I'm looking down, I'm like, it sounds close. I thought it was a little bit, yeah. Seconded by Daniels. Any other discussion on variance 2515? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries to approve variance 2515 with the conditions read. Have your variance. This time we can review and sign previous documents, decisions.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tim.
First one, this is the condo fence. Jack down by the river, that was denied.
Oh, okay, Oh, yeah, I took it away.
And then you said adjourn, whatever you're doing.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Motion by Schmidt, seconded by. Yep. Campion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, don't say anything.
Bueller? Bueller, gotta get that in.